It's 10:29, and I'm going to need this extra minute with Kate. Kate Redgate, everybody. I'm Jo Smith, and I'm a songwriter too, so you guys will have to forgive my terrible interview skills in advance. But I'm just going to have a...
Interviewing songwriters are the best.
Yes.
Frankly, I think.
Okay, perfect.
So, yeah.
Perfect. Well, I have so many questions. We'll have to start with, what are you wearing, though? Because I'm definitely going to enjoy this being a, female-to-female interview. I love this jacket.
So it's a vintage jacket.
Oh.
Vintage jewelry.
Okay.
And one of my favorite t-shirts.
I love it. I kind of want to steal your look.
Hey, man, I'll
You may see that later.
I'm happily going to share. Yep.
I love turquoise too.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. Okay, that's my jam. Yeah.
Okay, love it. All right.
Share. Happy to share.
All right. So she's wearing a cool outfit. We've established that. I want to talk about guitar stuff, and then I want to go back to your roots.
Sure.
Because I just want to know everything about it in 30 minutes. But you're a guitar player.
Yes.
And I know it's like everything's sensitive with drawing gender lines, but there's just not that many female guitar players. So, did you start with acoustic? Did you start with electric?
So I started with acoustic. I got my first acoustic guitar when I was about 12.
Okay.
And just kind of banged around and taught myself some tunes.
Yeah.
And that was it. I'm totally self-taught, and I just carried around a guitar with me for ever since.
That was my next question: is did you teach yourself?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I taught myself by listening to records, listening to songwriters, and back when I was learning how to do this, it involved lifting the needle up and replaying the song over and over. What was that? Wait, again, over. What was that? Up.
Kids these days have no idea.
They have no idea. There was no YouTube.
I had to rewind my cassette tape.
Same. So you feel me, right?
Yeah.
And I went from the record to the rewind. That was the next phase.
Right.
Or catching them on the radio.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, I gotta hurry up and press record so I can hear that song on the radio that I want to hear, so I can learn how to play it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, whole different.
Oh, I remember that. I know. Yeah. It took another level of work.
It was dedication.
Dedication. That
was
the right word.
You had to really want it.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And now kids can just go on YouTube, American Idol and YouTube.
Totally. If you have a show, yeah. Whole different ballgame.
We sound old a little bit, don't we?
Yeah. But you know what? That's okay. We have more stories to tell.
I know.
And we've done a few things. And that's one of the things I love about being a songwriter is I think it spans genres, it spans age groups, or it should if it's done right.
Right.
In my opinion.
Right.
It's not all about, being 28 and hot.
Right.
It shouldn't be. There's so much more to talk about and so much more,
Yes, for sure. And I want to chase that rabbit for a minute and come back to guitars later. But I agree. I think great songwriting is you're able to transplant it in all genres. Like the first song that comes to my mind is "The Smile on Your Face." Alison Krauss Bluegrass made that famous, and then you've got, what is the guy's name that did it on Notting Hill? Yeah.
It goes all over the place. And so when I was coming up, it was about studying songs.
Right.
Great songs. Period. End of sentence. It wasn't about getting TikTok followers or Instagram likes or Spotify streams or any of that bullshit. It was like, how good is that song?
Yeah.
Can you play that song alone with an acoustic guitar? Yeah, have it land.
Oh, exactly.
Period. End of sentence.
Exactly.
So,
and I hate, and here we go again, dating ourselves.
I know.
But,
this is fun.
I have tried to embrace the evolution of the business and the way that people consume music. But, recently I heard something about TikTok that I'm sort of going to have to draw the line. And it talks about how, how they do the clips on TikTok, and it's just like little teaser clips and whatnot. And it kind of blows the song, for lack of a better way, because it's like, people just want that 1 second of ooh, that's catchy, but they don't even want the full, narrative of a song.
Yes.
And I think Ryan Tedder came out the other day and said something about that, about how it's messing up even more the songwriter's endeavor, because it's why are we even writing songs anymore? Let's just write a couple lines.
Because at the end of the day, it's not about a soundbite. it's not about one little thing that might go viral, you know what I
Right.
mean? It's about the songs.
It is. At the end of the day, it's 100% about the
So
song.
I'm glad that y'all are here because it seems like everybody here at this
Yeah.
festival this weekend,
Yeah.
that's what they care about, so.
Agree. You know, and in the spirit of not being a hater, that's fine, TikTok world.
Totally.
Y'all can have it because here we are.
We have other things.
You know, we'll just build our own little thing over here that's like kind of old-fashioned, and it'll still be.
And it works for
standard.
us. There's something for everybody, right? You know, so that's kind of my vibe too. I feel you.
Okay, cool. So back to guitars, real things that last. So when did you start playing electric?
Actually, not that long ago. About 10 years ago.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I have a rock and roll band.
Yes.
So I've always kind of straddled this line. I was a little bit too rock and roll for the folk clubs, and not quite folky enough for them, but a little bit too acoustic. I mean, when I was coming up, it was before the word Americana was really kind of even a thing.
Right.
You know,
Right.
which I'm glad to see that there's more of a home for me now for what
Right.
I do. It doesn't really stick in a particular genre. But yeah, so then I just changed things up and got a hold of an electric guitar and started playing some electric tunes, and it was just a different vehicle for writing.
Right.
So,
right.
yeah.
Cool. All right, some like quick questions. What is your like acoustic of choice?
So this is a guitar made by a luthier called Dana Bourgeois, and he builds bluegrass picking guitars mostly. So this one, Tony Rice plays one of these. A lot of bluegrass players play them. Ray LaMontagne has one. I was lucky enough to get this before his career took off, because I certainly could not afford one now. And I got it 22 years ago, which was the year I got divorced, and I had 2 babies. And I had about $3,000 to my name, and I thought, it's time to get Mama a really nice guitar, because I'm gonna need it. And so I hunted around and I played some Taylors and some Martins and some, you know, I had an okay guitar. It was fine. It had served me well, and I kind of given up. I was like, man, I can't find anything. And sure enough, I stumbled onto this one, and it's been with me literally ever since.
I love that. What's it called again?
Bourgeois.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bourgeois.
So I've bought and sold everything I own since then on multiple occasions. My Santa Cruz turned into braces for my daughter.
Aww.
But this one, never.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's safe to say you have a bougie guitar. I love that thing. It sounds amazing. Do you have it in standard right now?
No, so I keep it tuned down a whole step always.
Okay, yeah, me too.
And then now it's dropped even further.
Cool. All right, we'll continue. Can you play a song for us?
Yeah, sure. Change the key on that. Hang on.
It's early.
It's early.
I do that frequently at this time of the day.
I could pull that off, but maybe I should play it the key I wrote it in. It's fun when that happens when you're playing with a band and the guys are like, shit, what's she doing? They're trying to like make quick adjustments. Took a picture at sunset from all of the tilted world. Me all wild-eyed and tired, you were on top of the world. Took me so long just to be okay. I ran ragged trying to keep up, wrote all the rights that day. Stuck in a hall of mirrors, spinning around, that cliche. Step right up, step right up. Let's play all the rigged games. Stuck in a hall of mirrors, spinning around. Don't remember the price of admission, but there's my ticket. On the ground. We took a picture at sunset. Thank you so much.
That reminded me in the best way of Tunnel of Love. You know, like this, that's the only other like carnival kind of, or you know, county fair kind of imagery. I don't know. I
think fairground imagery is the best.
It's
I
really
love it.
good.
It's awesome.
A lot of good metaphor opportunity, which you took advantage of, and I love that.
Yep.
Okay, so we were just talking about life with a band. And I'm wondering, do you have any great stories of life on the road, probably with a bunch of dudes in a band that you would like to share?
You know, I haven't spent a whole lot of time on the road with this band yet, because I kind of quit music for a hot minute. I was a single mom for 25 years. True single mom, like, he split. So it was a hustle. But now I have a great band, and we're picking things up a little bit. This is the first record that I put out in 14 years.
Wow.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's it's worth congratulating.
Thank you.
I know how much work that takes.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It was a pretty monumental effort, and I'm super proud to have done it and just now be kind of all in, and it's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. Thank you so much.
Where can we get it?
So I have some CDs here, which I realize most people don't have CD players anymore. There is a vinyl reissue of that coming out at some point this year. I'm a poor person, so that was not in the budget this year. But it's in the works. But I do have download cards. The cool thing, I went ahead and made the CD anyway, even though a lot of people don't have CD players anymore, because I wanted to put all the lyrics in it and all the things, even though it was still CD. So when it opens, there's a fold out. It's got some cool vintage photos that I took and all the lyrics. So it's kind of an interactive thing. So even if you buy it and listen to it on the download, you have all the stuffs, at least.
I love that.
You know, I need the stuff. When I'm listening to a record, I need to, who's playing on that? Where was it recorded? Who produced it? Like, I'm just a geek and I love that stuff. So anyway. So yeah, and then I'm at work right now on the follow-up, which is almost done. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's
very,
great.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let's go back and talk about a little bit of life stuff. This is a selfish question. I'm a new mom, and I've done music my whole life, and the two things are tough to combine. Mm-hmm. I have never had a hard time. Like, oh, what do I pick, music or this? But now I'm split, and I'm heavily split towards my baby. I know, but I still love music, and I'm like, I also know that he's, you know, going to have his own life one day, and mom is not going to be invited. And I'm like, so I should probably not abandon, you know, my career and other things that I'm interested in. They say that's healthy, you know. Yeah. So I'm trying not to. But
it's okay to step away from it for a minute. Yeah. Or you fit it in ways that work for you. Right. Or maybe you just work on being a songwriter and less like performing or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? You just kind of have to figure out what situation works for you. I was talking to Mike earlier and I told him this story. And my story was probably, I'm sure, a little bit different from yours, and hopefully you won't have to work 72 jobs to feed your children the way I did. But I was in the Kerrville Folk Festival in 2004, and this was right around the time when I kind of quit playing. Not quit, I never quit, but that was around the time when I kind of quit trying to do this as a career, and I just got 72 jobs because I I have to. But anyway, I was at the folk festival, and it was sort of, I was having these thoughts of like, I can't be on the road, I've got these 2 babies, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And Eliza Gilkyson was there, performing. I don't know if y'all knew who Eliza Gilkyson is. She's an amazing songwriter. She's older, she's probably, I don't know how old she is now, but she's fantastic. Her brother is Tony Gilkyson, who was an X and all this other stuff. Her dad wrote The Jungle Book, big musical family. And she has put out many, many records, and she is just a powerhouse. So anyway, I remember she was there. She was one of the main performers, and she was in her early 50s at the time. Yeah. Her son was her drummer, and she got up on the stage and just smoked, and just was amazing with this kind of wisdom and confidence. And I kind of put a pin in my cap. I just had one of those moments, and I was like, you know what? It's okay. I can come back to this later. It will still be here for me as long as I still stay true to who I am as a person. Yeah. So that's really the only thing I could even say to that. It's like, you are who you are. Yeah. Just stay true to yourself, and you'll figure the rest of it out. Yeah, and sadly, when it comes to commercializing, and I mean that in the very general form, but that's what we have to do with our music. You know, if we want to make a living at it and be able to continue to do it, right. You know, it can also corrupt it. Yeah. And a lot of people sell their soul, and I'm not saying that I haven't sold mine a couple times, you know. Hopefully I've gotten it back. But yeah, it's a tough decision to make, but I firmly believe that if you just stay true to who you are, as you said, and put that first, that the music will follow. I agree. I think that's the most important thing, honestly. I mean, if you're honest with yourself as a human first, and then commit to your craft after that, you can't go wrong. Right. And you have 2 kids. I do. And how old are they? 25 and 29. Oh my goodness. And boys, girls? So my daughter's 29, and my son's 25. One of each. Yep. All right. Yep. Good job, Mom. We did it. I'm on the other side. They made it to the 20s. Jesus fucking Christ, it almost killed me. But we made it. Yeah, I know. I'm just like, I mean, it's funny because growing up, I'm like, oh, you know, when I have kids, they're going to become president of the United States. And now I'm just like, I want them to let's get it tomorrow. Let's just make it to tomorrow. Right, totally. Oh, goodness. So, you as a kid, where did you grow up? I grew up on a small farm in southern Illinois. Okay. Yep. All right. So tell me about Midwestern culture. I'm from the South. I live out here now. I skipped the Midwest. So educate me. Well, you know, I don't even know that much about it. I mean, I was in an extremely rural situation. My address was Rural Route Number 1, Box 400E. Hey, I was Route 2. Okay, so you feel me, sister. I feel you. Yeah, so I just ran around in the woods all the time on my horses, and we raised cattle, and you know, it was fine. Yeah. I don't know what culture there was. There wasn't any music in my household. Zero. Oh wow. But I was also adopted. I was an orphan. I was born an orphan. Oh. So yeah, so I did that, and then that was cool. And then after that, I left home super young. I was in a foster home for a hot minute, and then I did all kinds of crazy things for a while, trying to figure out life. And so. Do you have any advice for a dear friend of mine who just decided to be a foster mom? She just got her first 5-month-old. Any advice to the parents of foster kids? I know. Here we go. Let's clap like another hour. So commit to it for the right reasons. That's all. That's it. That's my only advice. Question your own motives in doing so. Yeah. And check with yourself and make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. Absolutely. Because if you're doing it for the right reasons, you can't fail. I love that. I think. I love that. No, thank you for that. You're welcome. Okay, let's get back to guitars. Okay, so what's your electric of choice? So I have an old Epiphone. That's sort of like a 335 model, and I had custom pickups put in it because I have a friend who builds pickups, and it's amazing. Yeah. And I love it because it kind of feels like an acoustic guitar because I'm primarily an acoustic guitar player. Right. And then I have another friend that just started this little kind of hatchet job guitar building Frankensteining of instruments, and he built sort of this Telecaster style for me, and I haven't even really played it yet. It's waiting for me when I get home, so I'm super psyched about that. Nice. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Okay. Cool. What are your shows? Today I have a show at 2:30.
Okay.
And I have another one at, I don't know.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
It's either at 5 or at 7. I'm not 100% certain, but it's on the schedule.
Okay,
so,
perfect. Yeah. By being here today, you guys have unknowingly committed yourself to coming to my show at 1 and then leaving that one and going to Kate's show.
I think that's great. I'll see y'all there. Right. We'll form a little caravan, and we'll all be best friends by the end of the day.
Yeah. Can you play us one more?
Yeah. So I'll play this because I'm still in this tuning, but this is actually the title track off this record. It's called Light Under the Door. So sometimes I tell stories because all of my songs are personal stories, and thank God I'm a songwriter because I have had some crazy shit happen in my life. So whatever, you can't make it up. So it's, you know, it is what it is. But this one is not necessarily, it's sort of story song, sort of not a story song. But so I also write poetry. I've been literally writing my whole life. I have suitcases full of scraps and poems and all songs and all kinds of things. And I'm working on a book right now. And so at one particularly challenging chunk of time, which was shortly before I decided to do this again, and I wasn't sure what was going on, and I had moved a bunch, and I pulled out some of these old suitcases. And you ever have those experiences when you're looking back to something that you kind of forgot, that it was painful, but now you have the benefit of being where you are now. And so it's one of those weird time-space continuum. It's like, oh, and then you have the benefit of knowing what happened after you wrote the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was sort of kind of the vibe I was at. And when we made this record, I'm sorry, I'll shut up soon. When we made this record, I didn't have any money, so we cut it live in the studio in 2 days. So the whole record is live, vocals and all, we were all in the same room. So it's old school. Suitcase didn't take long while I was traveling through time, trying to wrap my arms around my younger self. Wrote so much, prayers and dreams and such. I was so proud for getting you gone. Then a few pages later you showed up. It's like watching a scary movie. Don't open that door. I was never very good at drawing lines in the sand. They just disappear when you got nowhere to call home. You get used to the fear. You wanted to come along with me to the show that night. I had a war with myself to just say no, but I lost that fight. Happening in slow motion now. I open that door, and I'm falling down the stairs. Broken glass strewn everywhere. There's a light under the door, but it's so far, and I'm falling down the stairs. There's blood on the pages, light under the door. There's the light. There's the light. The furniture was upside down, I just left it. You got nowhere to call home. You get used to getting used to. I should have spent my time hating on you, but I came for myself. You gave me a song and I sang it, but then I put it down. It's happening in slow motion now. I open that door, and so much for listening.
Go see her at 2:30 today. All right. I guess we're going to switch it out.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much, you guys.